Let's see.
Just check if you could check that feed for me, please. Make sure we're not echoing.
Just waiting for the stream to start.
All right, I'm gonna let everybody know we're here. Chickity check 1 2 3 check. We should be good to go.
Hang on. Switch this real quick.
Check. Hello, everyone. Hello, YouTube land.
Yeah, everything sounds good.
All right. Well, I'm good to go if you are.
I reckon.
Let's make a show. Here we go. Oh, there's Tyler. What's up, Tyler?
Tyler.
All right, here we go. In 3, 2, 1. Greetings, programs. We are back. My name is Jason Robbins.
And my name is Derek Diamond.
And I have a little bit of a plain background going on right now for the YouTube stream. We're still in the process of moving, so I haven't had a chance to set all my cool stuff up behind me. So it's just blank wall for tonight. But that's okay. You guys can handle the blank wall for one night.
Oh, I remember back in the day when, my background, when I first moved into this house, I had the brilliant idea to do a green screen wall. So for the longest time, I just had straight up like lime green behind me. So
yeah,
no, it's all good though. I mean, you've gotten moved in. That's that's the important thing.
Mostly, I'd say about 80% moved in. You don't realize how much crap you have until you have to move. And then you're like, oh, I guess the 20-foot truck wasn't big enough for everything that you own.
If only we had gotten the 21-foot.
Yeah. Dude, it's crazy. I got the 21-foot truck, filled it to the brim, and still have like a quarter of the stuff left. Like, I'm just like, where did this stuff come from? Who bought all this?
Yeah, that's a pretty common thing whenever you end up moving. You're just like, why do I have all this stuff? How did I get all this stuff? And do I need all this stuff?
Yeah, and I don't even have a couch yet. I just left my couch. Like I had the most uncomfortable couch ever, so we just left it. I got to get a new one, so I got to have a new couch delivered this weekend.
Ooh, that's nice.
Yeah.
I love a good new couch.
I can't wait. I'm tired of sitting on basically lawn chairs in the living room until the couch gets here.
Just that meme we've seen on social media sometimes where it's like, a great Friday night when we were kids, and it's like a TV set on the floor with an open box of pizza and a gaming controller.
Dude, literally in there right now is a blow-up mattress in the middle of the floor to lay on and watch TV, and a nice giant Brooklyn pizza on the table. Like it's like we live like children.
I love it. That's awesome. Shout out to David Lawrence, who's also in the chat too.
What's up, David Lawrence? Welcome.
Tuning in with us.
And
wonder if he's related to Johnny.
I don't know. Sweep the leg. That's what you got to do.
Sweep the leg.
But as far as being able to play anything or do anything, dude, I have not had a whole lot of gaming time over the last 2 weeks because before I moved, the week before I moved, I had to move my parents. They moved to Birmingham to be closer to my brother. So we had to pack up their entire house in 2 days. And let me tell you something. You think in the 5 years I've been in my apartment, you think I've gotten a lot of stuff in 5 years? Imagine they moved into that house in 1982. So that's what, like 43 years worth of stuff? Imagine having to pack up 43 years worth of stuff in 2 days.
I think you're going to need like a giant Epsom salt bath when you're done with this whole thing.
Dude, I'm literally just numb at this point. Like I have no energy, no emotional regularity. I'm just like I'm so ready for a vacation. It's not even funny.
Yeah, you should as soon as you get the chance, you should take one.
Oh, I am. Trust me. May take a week off from the show just to reset everything.
Oh no, I wouldn't blame you.
Because
I mean, we all need it sometimes.
dude,
so
moving
no, it's all good.
sucks, man. I hope this is
Yeah.
the last move. I'm just going to die in this house. Just burn it down around me. I want to be cremated anyway. Just leave me in it. Give me a Viking funeral. That's all I need.
That would be great. A Viking funeral.
Hey, what's going on with you? We haven't talked in 2 weeks.
Nothing too much really. Just been really productive at work. Which is kind of weird to say. Not that I'm like extremely lazy at work, but I don't know. I've hit a big like productive spell where I've been making like new graphics and overlays for like the podcast we do for work. Hey, kitty.
Kitty. This Lizzie.
Hey, Lizzie. You want to do the review for me tonight?
Yeah, she'll do it for you. She loves Sonic Heroes.
But yeah, just work, hanging out with the wife and the dogs. That's really been about it. And the only thing that I've really played is Sonic Heroes, which I got to spend a pretty considerable amount of time, more so than what I normally do. So I'm sure you saw I had quite a few notes.
Oh yeah,
in the Google Doc. So I'm excited to talk about it.
And speaking of, before we move on, next week we decided just to give me another week because I just don't know how this next week's going to go, still moving stuff. We're going to do a top 5 next week instead of a review episode. That way it'll give me another week to get everything settled and done. So
An unconventional top 5.
yeah,
too.
an unconventional. This one actually is from, was it Armez Jackson?
Yep, the official beat writer of
Yeah.
Nerd Cave Retro, Armez Jackson.
And we're going to do who is on your Mount Rushmore of video game characters. So I like that idea.
Pepsi Man is definitely
Yeah.
my number 1.
The Noid, Capcom, the Noid is going to be on there.
Yeah, the Noid.
Hey, you know they're doing, they're using the Noid. I don't think they're using it for advertisement. I was at a Domino's not too long ago, a couple of weeks ago, and they actually had a Noid sticker up on the glass, and I was like, I wish they would bring the Noid back.
That's hilarious. I want to say I saw something with the Noid not too long ago. I can't remember in what context. But speaking of that, yesterday we did go to Foley in Alabama and went to they had this big food truck festival at the outlet mall.
Oh, that sounds
that
so
they have
cool.
there. Dude, we had this giant kebab skewer with, they looked like thick potato chips, and they were fried and covered with Parmesan garlic.
Dude,
It was so good.
that sounds
And they
awesome.
had a what's called a pizza cone, where it's like an ice cream cone, but it's wrapped in the crust with the pepperoni, cheese, and the sauce stuffed into it. I inhaled that thing. It was so good.
Oh,
But
and
we went to the
Tyler in the chat room says, wait, isn't there only 4 people on Rushmore? Wouldn't this be a top 4 instead? Okay, Tyler, don't turn into Wally. Just go with it. Just,
to be fair, he is the fact checker to the fact checker.
I mean, yes, technically you're correct, but we're going to add one more. We're going to get up there with a hammer and chisel, and we're going to put one more up on the Mount Rushmore.
Because, I mean, in video games, you can do that. You can take liberties
Yeah.
with reality.
You just made me hungry again. I want to eat.
I know, I haven't had dinner yet, and I'm already starving. Just real quick before we get into the news, I went to the Play and Talk that's at the outlet mall, and they had, do you remember the old version of Mario that would be advertised in Nintendo Power, where he'd have like a little case and a screwdriver for console repairs? They had a sign, like an aluminum or like metal cutout
That's
of
cool.
Mario in that, and I'm like, I wish that was for sale, because I would so consider buying it.
Dude, you should have made an offer on it. They might have sold it.
Next time, if it's still there.
That'd be cool to have. That's kind of a rare thing.
Oh, that would look good right here.
Oh
Right
yeah.
here on the wall.
But it is we're running a little long, and it is time to get to the news, shall we?
Sure.
of this week's stories were provided by Mr. Armez Jackson, the official beat writer of the NCR podcast. And if you have a news story you'd like us to cover, send them to nerdcaveretro@gmail.com. And the first story comes from timeextension.com. Taito joins the Evercade range with 2 carts and an Alpha bar top arcade. Taito is helping to expand the Evercade range this year. Let's see, like the unit will feature, like the 2 Capcom variants released last year, the unit will feature dual controls and a bunch of preloaded games. It will also have 2 cartridge slots so you can play Evercade carts on it. Swappable marquees will be included along with stereo sound and an 8-inch high-resolution IPS screen. The preloaded games are Bubble Bobble. They have me already. That's all they had to say was Bubble Bobble, and I'm in.
I feel like that would be a requirement, honestly.
Kadash, Elevator Action, The Fairyland Story, Growl, The Legend of Cage, The New Zealand Story, Puzzle Bobble, Rastan, and Space Invaders. That's all they had to say. Let's see, the Taito, wait, that was for, let's see, hold on.
Those were the preloaded games.
Yeah, and the Taito Arcade 1 for the cartridges, there's, of course, Bubble Bobble, Chack and Pop, Colony 7, Don Doko Don, Growl, Space Invaders, Pirate Pete, Raymaze, I don't know how you say that, The Legend of Cage, and then Taito Arcade 2 is Alpine Ski, The Electric Yo-Yo, Elevator Action, Kiki Kai Kai, Liquid
Say that 10 times fast.
Liquid Kids. Who wants Liquid Kids, man?
That sounds like a horror movie waiting to happen.
Rastan, Operation Wolf, The New Zealand Story, and Volfied. Each cart will be available for $29.99 and launch this September. Pre-orders are open on July 31st. I want one of these tabletop arcades. These look so freaking cool.
It's interesting you bring that up, and I happen to have this sitting here with me. Hang on a second. I actually have the Pac-Man.
What?
I got this for Christmas a few years ago.
I didn't know that.
Yeah.
That's fantastic.
They're really cool. It's you plug it in and turn it on and you play it. It's that easy. So this is a good selection. I mean, with Bubble Bobble alone, I think that's enough of a sell. I'm curious about Puzzle Bobble. I've never heard of that.
I have heard of it. I've never played it, but I think Puzzle Bobble wasn't that... Oh, we'll have to look that up later, but I know that was it Bust a Move that was on the Super Nintendo that used the I think that might be what Puzzle Bobble is, if I'm not mistaken. Could be mistaken, so don't yell at me if I'm wrong.
Not that that's directed at anybody specifically.
Yeah. I just don't feel like looking. My Googling skills are too slow right now. Not that they were fast before, but they're even slower right now.
Well, you've had a lot going on, so. But no, this is really cool. And to follow up on that, also from timeextension.com, 2 new Neo Geo carts are coming to Evercade. Evercade's ongoing collaboration with SNK will give us 2 new Neo Geo arcade cartridges this year. Retailing for $29.99 and launching in October. Both carts can be pre-ordered from, starting August 29th. Neo Geo Arcade 2 includes Art of Fighting 2, Crossed Swords, Garu, Mark of the Wolves, Metal Slug 2, Ninja Commando, Sengoku 2. Neo Geo Arcade 3 includes Ghost Pilots, Metal Slug 3, Samurai Showdown 2, Super Sidekicks, King of Fighters 97, and Twinkle Star Sprites.
All right, looks like I'm going to have to get an Evercade. Just going to have to do it.
That's just... That's all there is to it.
And it has been confirmed that Tyler, our fact checker, said yes, Puzzle Bobble is Bust a Move. So I was correct.
It's an old joke, but I just like the name Bust a Move because of the song.
Yeah. I'm wondering if they got sued by Young MC at the time for using that.
If so, I lost some respect for Young MC.
Yeah, I'm sure he played
but that's
Bust
okay.
a Move. I feel like the kind of guy would enjoy a good video game.
Yeah.
Let's see. Ooh, This is from store.epicgames.com. Bloodstained: The Scarlet Engagement reveals new story trailer and 2026 release date. See, I missed this when it dropped. The long-awaited follow-up to Bloodstained: Ritual of the Night, the 2019 action role-playing game regarded as the spiritual successor to the Castlevania series, was revealed with a splashy trailer and a promised 2026 release date. It is in developed by Shutaro, Lita, and Koji Igarashi at developer Art Play. Set in England during the 16th century, before the events of Bloodstained: Ritual of the Night, a mysterious floating castle under the control of Demon Lord Elias has begun terrorizing citizens with its demonic forces. Player will simultaneously play as both Leo and Alex as they rise together to defeat Demon Lord Elias's reign of terror and shatter the chains of a kingdom tormented by evil forces. Now, I loved Ritual of the Night. I love the Bloodstained series. The Curse of the Moon, or was it Curse of the Moon? Like, just go play Bloodstained. Play the 8-bit version or the 16-bit version, whatever. Go play Ritual of the Night. These games are great, and I will be playing this in next year when it drops.
Yeah, the trailer looks really cool. You know, it's got a nice kind of really flashy art style to it, and the cutscenes look great. So, if you're a Bloodstained fan, definitely keep your eye on this.
Especially if you're a Castlevania fan and you're just like, they'll never make another Castlevania. Go play these. These are made by the Castlevania people.
The trailer kind of reminded me of Castlevania meets Blood Rain.
Mm-hmm. Yep. You nailed it. Like, this is what if this was, I don't know why Konami doesn't just step in and go, hey, we're going to pay you guys and we're just going to call this Castlevania. And nobody would know the difference. Like, all it's missing is it's called Bloodstained instead of Castlevania.
Yeah, that's pretty much it. From GameSpot.com, Scott Pilgrim EX is a return to a retro co-op beat-em-up for Scott and his pals. During Summer Game Fest Live, Tribute Games, the developers behind Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Shredder's Revenge and the upcoming Marvel Cosmic Invasion, announced its next project, Scott Pilgrim EX. It's the first Scott Pilgrim video game since Ubisoft's Scott Pilgrim vs. the World in 2010, and one which many of Tribute Games developers worked on. It's a side-scrolling beat-em-up game that features 7 playable characters, each with their own unique special attacks, and up to 4-player offline and online co-op. This new Scott Pilgrim adventure will also feature non-linear exploration, which will allow the players to discover the in-game version of Toronto however they wish. It's slated to launch in 2026 for Xbox Series X or S, PlayStation 5, Switch, and PC.
I had no idea they were working on another Scott Pilgrim game.
I didn't either, and I dabbled into the original Scott Pilgrim game. I know it more for the movie, which was actually one of the more underrated video game movies, I think. Like, it's not the greatest, but I did enjoy it. But this is cool. And I mean, I really like the look of the Scott Pilgrim games. It's kind of, it reminds me of a hybrid of anime and traditional, like, Western animation.
Yeah, it's got like a weird, like, mid-2000s Cartoon Network look to it, if that makes any sense.
Mm-hmm.
Almost like a Gendy Tartakovsky hybrid type thing, which is, I love it.
Yeah. Yeah, no, it looks fun, so I might pick this up when it comes out.
Up next, we have from NintendoLife.com. It's official. Switch 2 has sold over 3.5 million units globally in its first 4 days. Following the Switch 2's launch, Nintendo has now officially confirmed its new hybrid hardware has sold over 3.5 million units worldwide in the first 4 days. Let's see. This follows the recent news about the Switch 2 annihilating the competition in the UK with the arrival of Mario Kart World on the same day. Other reports suggest the new system has sold incredibly well in locations like France and Spain. Let's see. Mario Kart World appears to be the go-to launch title for the Switch 2, and it pretty much the only launch title for the Switch 2. So it will be interesting to see how many sales it's made from the new hardware release. I mean, you know, I'm not that excited about the Switch 2, honestly, right now. I never am, for new consoles. I'm usually a year in type of guy. Like I'll get it about a year from now, maybe 9 months to a year. After there's a couple of good titles, maybe a good Mario title for it. I don't know.
Yeah, and I will say I'm surprised that it's the fastest selling, Nintendo console ever, with 3.5 million units in its first 4 days. I said for weeks leading up to the release that I could see this being like a Wii U type of situation. The timing was weird with it being in the summer, everything going on with the economy. I just didn't really have that much faith in it, but
It's just been a real
people,
quiet launch.
yeah, that's another reason why it reminded me of the Wii U also. Was like with all the other Nintendo consoles before that and even the original Wii, there was a certain level of excitement to it. There was an excitement with the Switch. With this, it's just been kind of like, oh, here it is.
Yeah, well, not only that, but the lack of really big launch title. I mean, Mario Kart World is a big launch title. Don't get me wrong, but if they'd have come out with a new Mario game as well, or a Donkey Kong or something day one, just something something different for people that aren't necessarily into Mario Kart. Not only that, but it's so expensive. They've gone up on their game prices, and they're just kind of very they're not very customer friendly right now, and they just kind of have a bad. I don't know. People kind of have a bad taste in their mouth with Nintendo right now, so I just don't know how this console is going to do. I mean, it's going to do well, but is it going to do as well as the Switch? I don't know.
Yeah, getting success is much easier than maintaining it. So we'll see what happens. There is that new Donkey Kong game coming out that I'm excited about, but it's not coming out till next month.
Yeah.
And Nintendo has this tendency that they put a game that should be a launch title a month after the console comes out. It happened with the GameCube. It's happened with just about all of their consoles as far back as I can remember. Why? I don't know why they do that. Like if you had this new Donkey Kong, and then even if you had like, I don't know, even a Star Fox, or if Metroid Prime 4 was ready,
Yeah.
that would have been a much better lineup. Because I mean, a new Zelda is not going to happen anytime soon.
See, I was kind of hoping that they were going to launch like they should have just held off on it. And I know it's a corporate thing; they need to make money. They put a lot of money into this. There's been a lot of development, but they should have waited until Metroid Prime 4 was ready to go. They should have launched with a Metroid Prime 4 bundle and a Mario Kart bundle that's two different type of gamers, because not everybody loves a kart game. Not everybody likes driving game. Not everybody likes, first person shooter type games. But if you had a Metroid 4 Prime 4 bundle, I might have gone for that on launch day.
Yeah, same. But unfortunately, that didn't happen.
Yeah.
Nick, the horror game fan in the chat, he also sent in a listener review of the Switch 2 that we'll read a little bit later on. But he says the console I can see that will do as well as the Switch would be the PS5.
They seem to be gaining a little bit of steam lately, too. And I don't know what's going on with PlayStation. Maybe they're finally going, maybe we should start putting some games out for these consoles that we've had out for 4 years now.
It's amazing what a little effort will do.
Yeah.
And then our last news story from Gematsu.com, Ninja Gaiden Ragebound physical editions announced for PS5 and the Switch. Silver Lining Interactive will distribute physical editions of 2D side-scrolling action platformer Ninja Gaiden Ragebound for PS5 and Switch on September 12th. There will be two editions. There will be the standard, which will be a copy of the game, an official soundtrack, and a retro booklet.
Oh, that's cool.
The special edition will include everything I just listed, plus a cloth map, 4 metal pins with bold pixel art inspired designs, double-sided hero medallion featuring both protagonists, pixel stage standee, a double-sided poster, and a premium collector's box. And
I might
it
have
will
to
be
get
out
this special.
digitally. Oh, go ahead.
Said I might have to get this special edition.
It looks really cool. Like I love the 4 pins, and I like the standee. I think is my favorite. Like that to me
Yeah.
would make it worth it.
Yeah, Nick, I agree. I think I'll be getting it for the Switch as well. I mean, I'm not going to buy a PS5 just to get Ninja Gaiden, but I have a Switch. I will be playing this on the Switch. So I think I might actually, pony up a little cash and get the special edition because this looks really awesome. And I love Ninja Gaiden. It's one of my favorite gaming franchises of all time. So,
And that standee would make a pretty good background decor for your new setup.
yeah, it would. Yes, it would.
I'll see stuff in like Hobby Lobby or some store. And I'll be like, that would make a good like background setup for the show.
I do that all the time. Every time I see stuff, I'm like, that would look cool in the background.
Which for those that just want to get the digital version, it will be released on July 31st.
Not
On
bad.
PS5, Xbox, PS4, Switch, and Steam.
Well, that's going to bring us to the end of the news, and we're actually going to skip this month in video game history for this week. We'll bring it back next week. But before we go into the review, Derek, you haven't done our shout-outs in weeks. Well, actually, you did do our shout-outs last week. What am I talking about? I wasn't here for it.
I did want to mention, hopefully everyone enjoyed listening to Defending Bad Movies.
Yeah.
So, yeah. As always, we want to shout out our awesome patrons over at patreon.com/nerdcaveretro. We want to shout out Riley, Rumaldo Marquez, Mr. Wally Phelps, Nick W., Eld the Zombie, Yup Fed, a.k.a. Knife, James, a.k.a. at Jimbo Jr. on our Discord, Raven, Danny House, Justin Nispel, Daniel Salmon, Mr. B. Res Coffee himself, Mike Eveland, the Fact Checker to the Fact Checker, Mr. Tyler Watson, Axblade07, Armez Jackson, Carlos Longoria, a.k.a. I am the Rampage, Staff Sergeant Sketch, Gus and Penny, Matthew Salmon, Joey Mary Potato, violinist, pianist, and overall enjoyer of music,
what was
also
the one?
lovingly known as Dorito. I had a good chuckle reading that last week.
Joey Dorito is my favorite spin-off Sopranos character.
That makes me want to write a script called Joey Dorito.
Let's do it. We'll
That would
put
be
Joey
great.
in it. But we could do a short film for pretty cheap and call it Joey Dorito.
Yeah, we'll have to get Wally on the horn for that too. And of course,
Mama Diamond.
Donna Diamond, thank you all so much for your continued contributions and keeping the lights on for us here at the Nerd Cave Retro Podcast. We don't have a set date for when we are going to record the conclusion to our D&D campaign just yet. As we mentioned, with Jason moving to a new place and still getting settled in.
Within the next 2 weeks. I promise.
Yeah. Now it's as soon as we can get a date worked out, we will let everyone know. But until then, you can check out the previous 2 installments of the D&D campaign, the numerous commentary tracks we've done for shows like Darkwing Duck, Tailspin, full-length movies like Transformers the movie, the great Super Mario Brothers movie, the even better Double Dragon movie.
Terrible, but great.
Yeah. So the experience was fun. It wasn't about the commentary; it was about the friends we made along the way.
But if you want, Thunder in Paradise is still one of my favorite commentaries we've ever done. That was so stupid, but I loved every second of it. Because of you guys. If I'd have watched that by myself, I'd have been like, this is the worst thing ever committed to film. But watching it with you guys, it was one of the greatest experiences of any TV show watching I've ever done in my life.
That's usually my go-to of how to defend like a bad movie or a show, is that it either provides some kind of entertainment or it gave people in the in the industry jobs.
I still want to do a spin-off Thunder in Paradise podcast where we just go through each episode. There's only like 20 episodes, so it wouldn't take that long to do.
I'll probably go back to drinking if we do that.
Maybe we get a local brewery to sponsor us. Maybe we could drink while we watch it.
Hey, yeah, that'd actually be pretty awesome. But yeah, if you want to be a part of our awesome Patreon community, just head over to patreon.com/nerdcaveretro. And for new patrons, be sure to send us your social media info so we can give you a proper shout out.
And tonight, Derek's going to be talking about...
Made myself a little dizzy.
Yeah.
Yeah, so first of all, I want to say I forgot how good the soundtrack to this game was. I have not played this. So the game I'm going to be reviewing is Sonic Heroes, which is a 2003 platform game developed by Sonic Team and published by Sega. So this was coming off of the success of the Sonic Adventure games that were released in the late 90s and early 2000s. And while I do enjoy those games, they had their faults and their critics, which, looking back on it, is rightfully so. So you're thinking, like, what can Sega and Sonic Team do to take Sonic in 3D to the next level? And the result was this game, Sonic Heroes. And the gameplay is unique in the sense that you don't just control one character. You actually you actually play as a team of 3. You have 4 different teams that you can choose from, each with their distinctive abilities. So you have your speed character, which obviously is Sonic in Team Sonic's case. And then you have the flying ability, which is done by Tails, and power, which is Knuckles. And you have to use their unique abilities to get through each stage. And when this game was first announced, I was excited for it because I thought, okay, this is something a little different, but maybe it'll still keep that Sonic spirit, if you will. And when I first played it, I wasn't a huge fan of it. I didn't hate the game. It just didn't, outside of a couple of things, it didn't really hook me like Sonic Adventure 1 and 2 did. And I know the gameplay of Sonic Heroes, I will admit, is better now that I've gone back and played it. But the stories from the adventure games were just really compelling to me. So I looked past the flaws.
Yeah. If
that makes sense. Tyler says, "What I'm Made Of" is one of the most underrated songs from a Sonic game. Yeah, we'll definitely get to the music here in a second. Once you get used to the gameplay, because sometimes you have to switch between the characters pretty quickly, but there's also stages of the zones where you'll run through like this lit up gate with, it's either like a blue light, yellow, or red, and you automatically switch to like Tails or Knuckles as the leader. With Sonic, obviously, you can speed through as much as you can. With Tails, you can get to specific areas that you can't unless otherwise. The most fun is the power formation, because say like when you're playing as Knuckles, Sonic and Tails will turn into these balls that are spinning really fast, and Knuckles holds them like in his hands, and he'll toss them at, Robotnik's robots or whatever obstacle you get that's in your way.
That's cool.
And so there's 4 different teams, and each version, if you've played Sonic Adventure 1 and 2, you know that there's a centralized story, but you go through it different times to kind of go through the different points of view of each of the characters. With Team Sonic, it's pretty straightforward. You have a certain amount of time to defeat Robotnik, or else he's going to unleash some kind of big doomsday weapon on the world.
Yeah.
With Team Dark, which is Shadow the Hedgehog, Rouge the Bat, and E123 Omega, who is introduced in this game. Their goal is pretty much the same, but you're also trying to figure out like what happened to Shadow's memories, because he supposedly died at the end of Sonic Adventure 2. Then you have
was Sonic.
Oh, go ahead.
I was just trying to look it up. I'm trying to find what was the first Sonic game on a Nintendo console, and I'm pretty sure what I'm looking up here, Sonic Adventure 2 is the first. Sonic Adventure 2 Battle is the first.
So with Sonic Adventure 2, it came out on the Dreamcast in 2001.
Yeah.
And then it was ported to the GameCube, and they added some things with the multiplayer, and that's why they called it Sonic Adventure 2 Battle.
Okay. So, yeah, I thought it was actually earlier than that, but then I got to thinking about it. I was like, when did Sonic go to the Nintendo console? I thought maybe this was the first one, Sonic Heroes, but this is 2 years later. So he had already been on Nintendo for a while at this point.
And this was still one of those things, because I played this on the GameCube.
Dude, it's 2025, and I still get weirded out when I see Sonic on Nintendo consoles.
Yeah, same. It's just still like it will never get old to me. But I won't go through all of the characters, but each team kind of has their own unique path to the story. So like with Team Sonic, it plays about as close to a traditional 3D Sonic game as you can. With Team Dark, it's the same, but the difficulty is amped up a little bit. Like there are more enemies on your map. The boss fights are a little more difficult. With Team Rose, which is Amy Rose, Big the Cat, and Cream the Rabbit, it's much easier.
There's a lot of characters in this game.
There are. And the first stage of Team Rose is the tutorial level. So it's almost like that's designed if you have like, a younger sibling or someone that is kind of getting into games, they can play as Team Rose to kind of ease into it. But the coolest thing is this game brought back 3 obscure characters from the Sonic universe, and that would be the Chaotix, Vector the Crocodile, Espio the Chameleon, and Charmy the Bee. I'd remembered them from the comic books because they were a more regular occurrence, because Knuckles had his own spin-off comic book where these characters were introduced. So like I knew who they were. They just hadn't been seen in a video game in over 10 years at that point. So when they were brought back, I'm like, oh, this is really cool. And it's weird to say because their storyline is the most different from any of the other teams. I liked playing as them the most because they're a detective agency. So with a lot of these missions that you do, they're more of like, oh, you have to collect a certain number of items or you have to find this missing character. And it's kind of like the levels are an abbreviated version of what you play through as like Sonic or Shadow. But there's something about it, and I don't know if it's because I was just excited to play as those characters again. I enjoyed their stages. I enjoyed their cutscenes the most. It's weird to say, and I feel like such a hypocrite for saying it because there's been a lot of new elements that have been added to the 3D Sonic games that aren't really what the core of Sonic was about during the Genesis era.
Yeah, well, I mean, like, we've talked about this a million times. Like, what do you do with Sonic when you take him out of that 2D, go as fast as you can, side-scrolling environment and put him into a 3D world? Like, what do you do with him at that point? Because at least with Mario is all about jumping, hitting things, jumping on things, and he makes a smooth transition, the smoothest transition into the 3D 3D realm. But
Set the standard for it.
It was a lot harder to figure out where Sonic stood in that environment.
And I feel like it's an issue that Sega's still having.
Yeah, they still haven't figured it out.
20 years later, and it was apparent even more back then. So
Why don't they, with the success of Super Mario Brothers, the Super Mario Brothers movie, the Super Mario Brothers game? I mean, Galaxy is one of the best Mario games I've ever played in my life. Sonic is basically a Nintendo property now. He has his own hugely successful franchise of movies. Why don't we put Sonic and Mario together in a 3D game, 3D world game, so that we can transition Sonic into that world too? Why can't Sonic be a part of Mario's world? Is what I'm saying.
Not
Part
Mario
of
and
your
Sonic
world.
I watched that movie again the other day. Yeah, and not Mario and Sonic at the Olympic Games, like a
No.
narrative story
Yes.
game with the two of them.
The two heroes meet, and just a great mashup of those two characters. Bring Knuckles and Miles
Tails.
Tails, and who else is this? I'm not as well versed in the Sonic characters.
I mean,
as
you could
are.
bring in, like, I'm trying to think of who the other Sonic characters could bounce off of in the Mario realm.
Because you could bring Knuckles in and have him do a hand-to-hand combat with
Donkey Kong.
Yeah, dude, this game writes itself. Where's our check, Nintendo, Sega?
And I'm just saying, could you imagine if there's ever like a crossover movie and you get Jack Black's Bowser and Jim Carrey's Robotnik together?
Dude,
That would be gold.
how much money are they leaving on the table right now? Like, tell me you
All of
wouldn't
it.
buy a Switch 2 if that was a launch game. Mario
Although
meets Sonic.
I would buy a console just for that game, yes.
I would too. That's a moneymaker right there. Put in like you said, not like Mario and Sonic go to the Olympics or anything dumb like that. Like an actual narrative game that takes place in the Green Hill Zone, and then he meets Mario in the Mushroom Kingdom, and the two worlds collide, and you have Dr. Robotnik teaming up with the Koopas. Like, how awesome would that game be?
Oh, it'd be incredible. It'd have to be like, when it was announced, it would have to be one of, if not the most anticipated game of that year.
Dude, one of the most
Easily.
anticipated games of all time. I guarantee you.
Oh, for sure. Absolutely. But as far as getting back to Sonic Heroes, the graphics are good, and they do hold up for the most part. It's one of the sleeker looking Sonic games, and funny enough, the style kind of reminds me of the new. I don't know if you've seen anything from Sonic Prime, the new Sonic animated series. The look kind of reminds me of that. Obviously, like, it's not in high definition, but as far as kind of like the look and the gleam and shine of the characters remind me of that show.
Dude, the GameCube I think the GameCube games still look great. I mean, there are some that are kind of ugly, but for the most part, GameCube was way ahead of its time when it came to
For
graphics.
sure. And the voice acting isn't as grating as some of the other Sonic games have been in the past. It's still not great, but it's more tolerable. I'll just put it that way. And the biggest problem, we've talked about the struggle of transitioning from 2D to 3D, is the camera. It's still not great in this game, and it caused me to die several times.
We're still in that weird era where we were trying to figure out the dual analog sticks.
Yeah. And as far as the things that I enjoyed the most about this game, I did enjoy the story because there is a really cool twist in that Robotnik isn't the main villain. It's actually the returning Metal Sonic who has figured out a way to upgrade himself. And he actually, there's a cool cutscene where like you fight Robotnik, and it turns out that it's a fake, like it's a decoy Robotnik. And it melts T-1000 style and turns into Metal Sonic.
That's awesome.
And it's Tyler mentioning What I'm Made Of is the song that plays during the final battle. And it's one of the coolest boss fights in all of Sonic. So Metal Sonic basically becomes what's called the Metal Overlord, where he's just this giant, like flying mechanized thing. And you go supersonic. Unfortunately, Tails and Knuckles don't have super forms, but they're basically surrounded with a shield that makes them invulnerable. And the battle takes place in like the stormy sky type area. And just everything with the look, the music. I mean, Metal Sonic picks up like entire ships and throws them at you. It's a really cool boss fight. And the returning Metal Sonic and the Chaotix are the other things that I enjoy the most about this game, because I think they add a new, even though they're not new characters, they add a fresh layer to the Sonic universe, which I really liked.
Yeah, they were first appeared in Knuckles Chaotix in '95. What was that for?
That was for the
32X,
long-lived
yeah.
32X.
Yeah. That lasted all of about 8 minutes.
But like I said, I knew them more from the Archie comic series that they did for years.
It says here too, Naka. What's his first name? Yuji Naka.
Yuji Naka.
Producer, he said he believed that Sonic Heroes, a Sonic-themed McDonald's Happy Meal toy line, and the anime series Sonic X would expose the franchise to a new generation. And I don't remember there being a McDonald's Happy Meal at the time. A Sonic Happy Meal.
I remember one when Sonic the Hedgehog 3 came out for the Genesis, because I actually still have a couple of the Happy Meal toys at my parents' house. If I can ever remember, next time I go over, I'll grab them.
Yeah, try to find them and grab them.
Do a little show and tell.
Yeah.
But now I do remember Sonic X very well, because I had a hankering for a new Sonic cartoon series after the original one was unfortunately canceled.
Didn't we do a commentary track for Sonic X?
I think we did. We've done a commentary track for Sonic X and for the 90s animated series.
The one that had, what's his name? Jaleel White as the voice.
Yeah, Jaleel White as Sonic. Oh, yeah, I forgot. Chuck brings this up in the chat. Sonic is doing a crossover with DC.
What?
I'll have to send you guys some of the looks of the characters.
Shut up.
It's pretty awesome. There's it says here Sonic was just on the cover of Batman as an alternate cover. There's a one of Shadow as Batman that's pretty sick.
Are they doing
real-time reactions?
What? Sonic becomes the Batman. Are you kidding me? Dude.
It's an incredible concept.
Oh, dude, this is awesome.
It's pretty sick.
Why are they
I haven't read any of the issues yet, but it looks really cool.
I don't have the money right now to be spending on this. Why are they putting out this stuff? It's so cool. Damn it. I'm going to have to get a third job.
It says here, the Sonic gang gets some of the powers of the DC heroes. You just have to keep that in your back pocket.
I know. All right.
But yeah.
We need you guys. Patreon.com/NerdCaveRetro. We get those numbers up, people. Get them numbers up.
We'll do a read along of the comics. And then people can hear how bad of a voice actor I am. But as far as the reception of the game, it received generally mixed or average reviews according to Metacritic.
Ooh.
Some reviewers felt the game was better than the previous 3D games, but still below the quality of 2D.
Eurogamer was not a fan. They disliked the shiny models.
They didn't bother me. And the thing is, like, to be fair, I guess in a way, you can't really compare these with the 2D games. because the gameplay is quite different.
Yeah.
I know it doesn't seem that way on the surface, but it really is. I think, I only compared the 2D games to the other 2D games, and same thing with the 3D. That's why I always say, oh, what's your favorite 2D Sonic game or your 3D Sonic game?
Yeah.
I,
See, you
I
don't
have
do-
to
you
judge
don't-
them separately.
You don't do that with Mario games. You just say, "What's your favorite Mario game?" You don't say, "What's your favorite 2D Mario game and 2D or side scroll." You just say, "What's your favorite Mario game?" No matter what it is, everybody's got a favorite Mario game.
It says here the aesthetics and sound were generally well received. IGN lauded detailed, varied, and realistic character models and wrote that the textures were detailed and crisp, and also praised the realistic shading and lighting effects. As far as the sound goes, this actually has one of the best Sonic soundtracks of any of the 3D games, because the music is so upbeat throughout the entire game. And I think that's very important for a Sonic game.
Apparently, the PS2 and the PC version of this game, reviewers noted clipping, graphic faults, and a lower frame rate. So I guess if you're going to play this, don't get the PS2 version. Get the GameCube version.
Yeah, because Metacritic gave they gave the Xbox version a 73 out of 100, GameCube 72, PC 66, and PS2 64. Eurogamer gave it a 6 out of 10, GameSpot 7.5, IGN gave it an 8 out of 10. I'm going to say, because this game did surprise me, because I haven't played it in so long, and I remembered not being a huge fan of it, I think it's one of the better looking Sonic games for the time. The soundtrack is great. The storyline is cool. The camera, it brings it down for me. I'm sorry. But when you have a technical error like that and it causes you to die multiple times, that's got to bring it down for me a bit.
Yeah.
But I'm still going to give it a decent score. I mean, I'm going to give it a solid 7
That's
out
not
of 10.
bad.
I think 6 is a little too low, but I'm not going to go as high to say as like an 8.
Yeah.
So if you're a Sonic fan and you haven't played Sonic Heroes in a while, go back and give it a shot, because I think it's better than you might remember.
Sounds fun. I might actually pick it up if I come across it. I try to pick up any good GameCube games when I come across good ones.
Yeah. Yeah, you should definitely try it out.
Don't forget, everybody, next week we're going to do Mr. Armez Jackson's idea for a top 5, which is your Mount Rushmore of gaming characters. And I know Tyler said Mount Rushmore's technically 4, but we're gonna get up there with our hammer and chisel, and we're gonna put a fifth one up there. So top 5 Mount Rushmore of gaming characters.
Absolutely. You want me to read Nick's listener review?
Yes, please. I was just about.
Okay. I've got it pulled up. So I can
Did you
take care of
see
it.
that? I ate popcorn today, and a hole just flew out of my mouth.
Oh,
gross.
man.
Stupid
That's
popcorn.
awesome. So from Nick, the horror game fan, for my listener review, I'm going to review the Nintendo Switch 2. The new screen is much bigger at 7.9 inches and has HDR. Granted, the HDR on the console itself isn't very good. The Joy-Cons are much bigger and feel way more premium. The electric magnets do a fantastic job of keeping the Joy-Cons in place.
That was one thing I wanted to ask about. How is the magnets for the Joy-Con? Because that just feels like it's going to snap. At least in my mind. Like, it'd be so much easier to snap.
After some wear and tear, for sure. Everything feels much more premium with the Switch 2. The back compact is great, as it runs Switch 1 games much better. For example, playing Pokemon Scarlet is a much better experience with the free Switch 2 upgrade. The game now runs at a stable 60 frames per second, and the character models look much better. The other games I tested were Splatoon 3 and Super Mario 3D Bowser's Fury, both run at a higher resolution on the Switch 2. The GameCube emulation is great right now. There are 3 games available, which are Wind Waker, F-Zero GX, and Soul Calibur 2. Another thing I noticed is that the store and download speeds are much faster. Overall, the Switch 2 is a great console and well worth the $450 price. However, the biggest issue is the battery life, as it gets about 3 to 6 hours depending on the game.
That's about what I get for the regular Switch. I usually keep it plugged in anyway, my old Switch, so I'd probably do the same for the Switch too.
Something I'm curious about too, how is the interface with the store?
It has to be
Because
better.
it sucked on the Switch.
Store was terrible.
Yeah, I don't know. Shout out to David Richardson once again, who's joining us in the chat.
Yes, welcome, good sir.
Yeah.
But yeah, Nick, let me know how those magnets work out, because I'm really worried about that, because I was even more like the original Switch, the snap in. I was always like scared to death those things were gonna just snap at any second, and now it's just magnets. Like, how strong can those magnets be? Because I can be pretty. I've been told I don't know my own strength, so I could very easily snap those things off, probably.
Only Bill Nye the Science Guy knows for sure.
He says the interface is the same, but it's much faster and more responsive. I mean, that's all we really need. But come on, Nintendo, put the music back in. We need the store music. It makes you feel wanted, and you want to browse around, and
Are you referring to the infamous Wii Shop Channel music?
Yeah.
I'll tell a really funny quick story. So, do you remember the music that would play whenever you would design your Mii character?
Yeah.
How it would really sound like that obnoxious elevator music. I used to have that on a CD, and I'd play it for my friends all the time, and they'd get so mad at me. 'Cause it's so grating.
He says he tried to pull them off without pushing the button and couldn't do it. So, seems like it might work. And David Richardson, I have no idea about if any Pokemon games coming out soon. I am not the Pokemon guy.
Not that I've heard about. That's really all I can say.
It seems to me
I haven't heard anything about a new Pokemon game in a while.
Seems to me that would be a Switch 2 seller too if they put another Pokemon game out for it.
I'm telling you, if they would make the original games open world like they've done for the last couple of 3D games,
Yeah.
oh, that would make so much money. That would convince me to buy a Switch too.
Yeah.
I'm saying.
I'm not a huge Pokemon fan, but like I said, if they would have dropped it with Metroid Prime 4, I would have been right there.
Oh, that's right. Pokemon ZA is coming out in October. I do remember hearing about that now.
I have not heard about that. But that's going to bring us to the end of this comeback episode for the Nerd Cave Retro Show. Hopefully next week I'll have my backdrop and everything up behind me so it doesn't look like I'm, just up against a firing squad wall.
I was going to say in an interrogation room.
Yeah, it looks like I'm in a
works too.
hospital or something. Like, I don't know. It's kind of bland.
You should you should keep the backdrop the same, but do like a different lighting setup. You know how on those like crime documentaries where they mask out the person's face and distort their voice so you don't know who they are?
Just blur out my face. Talk like this the whole time.
And now number 4 for my Mount Rushmore of video game characters.
But don't forget, everybody, don't forget next week is your top 5 Mount Rushmore of video game characters. That's going to be a fun one, and then I will be back the next week after that with a review. So we'll just keep an eye on the Discord. If you're not in the Discord, go join it right now. Go to nerdcaveretro.com. And that'll take you to our link tree, and that'll take you everywhere you need to go. The Discord is right there. You click that little button, and that'll take you right to the Discord. Nick says, are you excited for Silent Hill F in October? I love the idea of Silent Hill. I love the movies. But the thing about the games is those games gave me nightmares, and I could never finish them.
Yeah, I remember you talking about that.
Especially
multiple
Silent
times.
Hill 2. When I played Silent Hill 2 on the PlayStation 2 back in the day, I had to stop playing it because it was giving me nightmares every single night.
And see, as soon as you told me that, I'm like, okay, I'm never going to play a Silent Hill game.
I mean, I love the idea of Silent. I like Resident Evil is still one of my favorite franchises of all time. I love Resident Evil games, but something about Silent Hill, there's just, it's creepy, and it does something to the lizard part of my brain where it just puts me in like fight or flight mode.
Yeah, so I will never play a Silent Hill game.
Maybe you should do it for Halloween.
I'll think about it.
All right. Be a Patreon exclusive.
Yeah.
But yeah, anything else before we get out of here this week? What's going on with your neck of the woods? I don't know what you got going on. It's been a couple of weeks. My brain is rotten.
Yeah, so I mentioned over the past few weeks, I'm producing a new short film called Wired for Sound. We're still raising funds for it. We have decided to push the shooting back to September. One, due to the heat, and two, we had some logistical issues with one of the locations. So September is going to work out much better for it. You can go to Facebook.
Filmed Survey in the middle of summer in Pensacola, out in the middle of nowhere, and I was wearing like 20 pounds of leather and makeup and everything. Yeah, that was fun.
that did lead is for one of my vanity moments. It did lead to like probably my most iconic photo back when I had my long hair. Mm-hmm. And had the Hawaiian shirt, because I'm like, I'm gonna dress up like a sound guy from the 70s.
Should have had
if I was in shape, I would have done the pink shorts thing.
I was just about to say the pink shorty short Star Wars guy.
Yeah, just think all the sound from Star Wars was captured by a guy in a pink Speedo. But yeah, Facebook and Instagram at Wired for Sound Movie is where you can check that out.
I've been moving for 2 weeks, so I don't have anything going on. Even Open Micers has been taking a hiatus as well, so we'll be back.
I was going to ask, did Jacob get you anything for Father's Day?
No. Well, he did help me move, so that was all I needed from him.
Okay. Well, that counts for something.
Yeah, he helped.
I just wanted to make sure.
But yeah, I'm grateful for him and Mr. Mike Dixon that helped.
Oh,
too.
Sweet.
Helped me move some stuff. Thanks to those guys for showing up for me and helping out.
I knew Jacob cared.
Yeah, he does. He likes to pretend he's hard, but he's not. He's a big old softy, big old sweetie. But I'm ready to get out of here. What do you say?
Let's do it.
If you want to email us at nerdcaveretro@gmail.com. If you don't want to email, but you got something to say, leave us a voice message at voicecast.app/NCR. You don't have to sign up for anything or nothing. You just go there, record the message, and it'll leave it for us. And you don't have to fill out anything. Nothing. That's it. It's so simple. NerdCaveRetro.com. That's our link tree. That takes you everywhere you need to go. All the ways to get a hold of us, the socials, our Patreon, and of course the merch shop, which is at ncrmerch.com. We got all kind of stuff over there. We got t-shirts, hats, magnets, bags, mugs, with all kind of designs, whatever your nerdy heart desires. If you can't do that, I understand. Times are tough. Leave us a review and a 5-star rating on all podcasting platforms. Derek, please tell them what it's all about.
Gotta go fast.
Yeah.
Wise man say forgiveness is divine, but never pay full price for late pizza.
And that is an episode, everybody. Yay. We're back.
All right.
But
I got to send you that clip I used at the end of Defending Bad Movies.
Oh, yeah, you do. Yeah, I went back and listened
the Ice
to
Age.
it. I had to go back and listen to it. It's been so long, I don't remember anything from that panel. And that was awesome to go back and relive that.
It was 6 years ago.
I know. It's crazy.
Yeah.
But let me do our little outro thing here. Thank you, everybody, for watching. We love all you guys. We'll see you right here next week.